Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Woo! Daily Dish time! Hello, everyone. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hello. Ooh, that's way too much boob. Sorry. We don't need to be seeing that. Hello, everybody. Look, there's Doris and Catherine and Jocelyn and Deborah. Patsy's there. Nancy's there. Cheers, Nancy. I've already drank my big bottle of hot melt earlier today. And now I'm moving on to a little bit of water. Hello, Linda, Denise, Martha. So glad to have you all here. You know that we had Wise Women's Wednesday yesterday, and today is Thirsty Thursday. Are you thirsty? Who's staying up on their hydration? Have you found it easier now that a lot of you are doing Hot Melt 30. Have you found it easier because you're doing Hot Melt 30 to do it? There it is. Boom. She drops it in. Yes, yes, yes. It is, isn't it? Because it becomes a habit. That's what we are working on. That's our system. Remember we talked about systems yesterday? We're getting things done. We're getting things done. Speaking of getting things done, let's get some announcements done so we can get on to today's show, because today's show, bam, have I got some stuff for you. Big time. Big time. First of all, our skincare. Are you hip on our skincare? We've got great skincare stuff. We have got a great sale going, and it's buy one, get one. And we don't do that at all, usually, ever. We hardly ever do a BOGO, but this is a BOGO. Buy one, you'll get one. We're talking about our deep moisture cream. There's like 16 different ingredients in here. Each one is a product that you could eat all by itself. Seriously, you could eat it. Remember, your skin is your biggest organ. Anything that you put on your skin, you eat. You eat, it goes inside. Hello, my sweet, loving Margot. She loves our skincare. It's beautiful stuff. This stuff, I love it. There's not much of scent with any of our stuff, really. And that's on purpose, because it's not there to make everything smell good. It's there to do the work on your skin. It's feeding your skin from the outside in. We also have tips, obviously, on how to feed it from the inside out, because we want you just as lovely as you are to shine. Hello, my Teresa. Debbie, thank you. She said it's the best. I think so. I agree with that. There's our Lynn coming to you live. Glad you're here, Lynn. All right, so we have that. You can find this at savingdinner.com/BOGO. Go get it. Because I strongly suggest that you get this, because I use this every single morning and every single night. Along with the morning, I use this with the vitamin C plus E, and I use this at night with our deep moisture serum. I'm just all about it. Makes your skin really quite lovely. We need good skin, right? There's that. The other thing that I want to remind you of, savingdinner.com/BOGO to go get that special deal. The other thing that I want to remind you about is our optimistic gratitude bullet journal. Is it not so beautiful? This is it. And I'm holding it actually in my hand, and you can see it. There's all kinds of stuff in here week by week. And I think this is one of the best parts. This is a weekly meditation coloring exercise that you do. I am telling you. And it is built on the science of repetition. And every week you do it, and isn't it so beautiful? Catherine, Amber did this. Look at that's the back. This is the front, and inside is just pure gorgeousness. And it makes you feel really good, because we have, look at these. Look, this month, this week. So you have this. So you're as you're doing this, you have your daily, and then you have your weekly, and you put your little, and I would suggest there's a little hole on the top. I would put a little ribbon on them. And then you'd have these sticking out so that you could see how everything is recorded, because then you go back, you get a dopamine hit from watching yourself fill this out. And then gratitude becomes a habit, an easy habit. It just happens. It just bubbles out. It's effervescent, kind of like my Pellegrino here. Anyway, strong suggestion that you go get it. savingdinner.com/grateful. And that's where you can find these gorgeous journals. We have a limited supply. This is our second order of these. Limited supply. People are buying these for gifts, y'all. So you might want to consider that as well. It comes with you will get it with the little bookmarks as well. We love it. It's beauteous. Beauteous. What else do we have to tell you about? Free shipping for any order, $300 or up. Screaming deal, right? You can, that's just, if you live in the lower 48, it's yours, baby. That's what we're going to do. Yes, she is talented. She is very talented. We're so grateful. We're so grateful. We get that in-house. Everybody loves this. Debbie says she uses the skincare trio and sees a difference right away. It's true. Margot loves the deep moisture serum. She's in love with it. So am I. I would like to drink it. It's so delicious the way it goes onto your skin. And it's the thing about our skincare. Let me just say this. It's like, for example, the C and E, it's microencapsulated vitamin C. You put that vitamin C on, you feel almost a stinginess. You should, because that's telling you that that vitamin C is active. It's encapsulated. That's why it works. So that's one of the things that I love about that. And then, of course, the other thing is the fine oils that we use, like in the serum, they go right into your skin. You know, I'm 65. My skin looks pretty good. I haven't had any work done. This is just, well, if you got up close and personal, you'd see some fine lines, of course. But I feel really good about my skin. I feed it in from the inside out and from the outside in. That's how you have to do it. That's the secret to having beautiful skin. And of course, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, hydrating correctly, and having enough sleep, right? Guess what? I got my husband finally into the place of going to bed early. We go to bed now every night at 10 o'clock. We're in bed by 10 o'clock. Lights are out. We're out. I finally did it. It's taken me years, but here we are. So that's just really refreshing, because we're up by 6:30 every morning. I'm up by 6. He's up by 6:30. Anyway, that is fabulous news. The other, yes, the deep moisture serum on top of your hands. You know, they always say that my hands, you know, my hands aren't as youthful as they used to be. But what are you going to do? But that's anytime I have any leftover anything on, I always slather it on the tops of my hands. Why not? Right? We want to anti-age our tops of our hands as well. That's a good idea, Jocelyn. What was the other thing that I was going to tell you? I've told you about this, that, and the other thing. The quote of the week. Stop making decisions for the person you are right now and start making decisions for the person you're becoming, and get it done faster. Get there faster. So good. So good. That's good information right there. Debbie, I'm so glad. She said so many other creams seem to lay on the top of your skin and not soak in. Yours does. That's the secret. And it's also the oils, like the rice bran oil. It's a very, very fine oil, and it goes right into your skin. We have a lot of things like that. And let's just say this, every single ingredient has been hand selected to do one other thing, to help your skin in one other way. So I am a big believer. I love it. I love that. Yeah, and lots of stuff on the neck, y'all. We don't want turkey necks. My neck is always really greasy because I pile it on. You know, I know that there's only so much you can do, right? Because we're aging. But it's just, this is the truth. I also spend time in the sun, even though I use a safe sunscreen. And this is how tan I am with sunscreen. You can see how tan I get with sunscreen. So what are you going to do, right? I have to say, I'm just going to do the best that I can do. I'm not going to wear toxic sunscreen. I'm going to wear safe sunscreen. Because you know what's interesting? This side note, look it up yourself, but the amount of skin cancer that's gone up compared to the amount of use of different, very toxic sunscreens has gone up. Coincidence? I don't know. Also, anybody who spends any time in the sun, strong suggestion, 500 milligrams of nicotinamide every single day, right? It helps. There's an article in Scientific Digest or something about how it helps with basal cell and other kinds of types of cancer, not melanoma, but other kinds. But if you spend any time in the sun, like I do, got to be careful. So Teresa's in the house and she's saying good morning. I will say good afternoon because that's where I am. All right. I think I got all the announcements. If I have not, oh gosh, I haven't. You know what I missed? You guys, the most important thing. Full bloom's coming. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Nicotinamide. Oh man. Just N-I-T, N-I-C, nicotinamide. Nico, N-I-C-O, 10, T-I-N-M-I-D-E. There you go. Sound it out. Sound it out. Exactly. Debbie's right. Safe sunscreen is the zinc oxide sunscreen, mineral sunscreen. Exactly. There is one spray sunscreen that is safe, and it's called Sunbum, and it's mostly zinc and other minerals in it. That's what I use. And the other day, I forgot to put it on my face. I have a sunscreen specifically for my face. I forgot, so I had to put that on my face as well as what I put on my body, and I looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost. It wasn't pretty. But, you know, you do what you have to do. Protect yourself. You know, Lynn, there you go. I'm not really good with spelling sometimes because I have to see things. But I did win a spelling bee once upon a time in 6th grade. I want everybody to know about that, by the way. Okay. Are you ready? Let's get down to brass tacks here because we have some things to discuss. Yesterday, when we talked about the importance of systems, I mentioned in the whole thing, if you remember this, I was talking about how we also bring in the practice of deliberate practice. And then I thought, well, what is deliberate practice? You know, and in my estimation, for my thought anyway, about Catherine, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Anyway, but I thought about that. I thought about that for a long, long time. And I thought, you know, I really think I need to unpack that because for me, deliberate practice is just being, you know, very present with whatever it is that you're doing. Because I always think about deliberate practice in terms of like today is my day for legs. And well, I've moved everything around and I'm now stacking my weightlifting all on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays because it just seems to work out better. Anyway, so that and isn't that just fine? I'm okay with that because then I have like a 10-minute thing here, then a 10-minute thing there, you know, bada bing, bada bang, we're good. I like it that way. But what I do is the deliberate practice that I do when I am weightlifting is that I'm concentrating on the part that I'm working. In other words, I don't just sit there and go boop, 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 boop like this, pull it, you know, just pushing up the weight. I'm feeling my bicep. I'm present with my bicep. I'm present with my tricep. I'm present with the body part that's being worked. When I'm meditating, I do the same. You know this if you do a meditative practice and you're thinking about your breath, you're present with your breath. That's deliberate practice. And deliberate practice keeps us in the present and it keeps us in the place of understanding what it is that we are about and what it is that we're doing. Okay, that's my brief overview. But I'm not the one who coined this phrase. I'm Patsy. We're going to have a runoff here. Patsy and I are going to do a spelling bee together. She won one in the 5th grade. This deliberate practice is a term coined by psychologist Anders Ericsson. Now, he's not just any old psychologist. He's a performance psychologist. In other words, he's looking at what is the psychology behind any kind of high performance, which I think is very interesting. So when he was into all of this stuff, he separated the sheep from the goats. And he said, these guys excel. These guys go the next level. These guys are the Diana Nyads of all the swimmers, right? The Michael Phelps, the these guys that go high and above and beyond. What is it about them that they do that's different from everybody else? Because they're all putting in the hours, they're all practicing, they're all doing everything. And he came up with this term, deliberate practice. And so what he sees in this whole thing, it's largely because of this absolute focus on what it is that they're doing and the way that they're executing. And it isn't about innate talent. Does that blow you away or what? It blows me away, because I thought, well, and they show, what was this that they showed you? I mean, oh, please go away. When you get a call from unknown, you know who that is, right? Mr. Spam. Anyway, but that's exactly what it is that it is about being purposeful. It's about being systematic, and it's about being completely 100% focused on the thing. Now, way back, if you remember this, I think it was on Time magazine or one of those big magazines, and they showed Michael Phelps standing there with all of his medals on, and they said he was built to be a swimmer. He had this unusual wingspan. He had unusually long arms and very long-waisted, short-legged, and big flipper feet, I guess, which mean, built to swim the way he swam. But so that isn't a talent. That's just the body build. And he was blessed with that. The talent stuff was a lesser than thing than the deliberate practice. That flipping blew me away, because I thought it had so much to do with, it had to have something to do with talent, didn't it? No, not according to this guy, Anderson. So he says regular practice might include mindless repetition, deliberate practice, while deliberate practice requires focused attention. Mindless repetitions, you're still going to get results if you just sit there mindlessly lifting weights for your bicep. But when you're focused and you're thinking about what that bicep is doing, your form is that much better. It is. It just has to be that much better. And also, you're putting your mind into the muscle, and you're making sure that you're doing it correctly. You're not just going through the motions. That's what I see it. The difference between being present and doing the work versus just going through the motions. Now, I believe that there's a time for just going through the motions. If you want to get your house cleaned up or whatever, and you want to do whatever, then fine. Nobody needs to sit there and be the toilet bowl as you're scrubbing it. You don't have to think, what is the side of the bowl thinking right now? Is it getting scrubbed? Is it getting clean? We don't have to do that. We don't have to have a deliberate practice of toilet cleaning. We just need to clean the damn toilet, right? It needs cleaning. We do it, right? There's a difference. When we put ourselves mindfully into the thing that we're doing and we deliberately practice what it is that we're doing, we see a huge difference. We see a difference in our performance, and we see this thing called flow show up. And we just go into the task, and before we know it, it's done, because our focus is that sharp. That's how it is. So I've got 5 key principles for you from all of this that I think we need to take a look at, because I thought it was fascinating. I thought this whole thing was fascinating, because I did a little deep dive on it and said, I got to share this. This is cool. The first thing is, and those of you who have our journal, who have You Take Back Your Life journal, know this. And the first thing is to set short-term goals. I'm talking 12-week goals here. And to do it with affirmations, and to do it with focus, and to do it with intention. Who knew this? This is how our book is. This is how our goal setting is done. I did not know this. I had no idea, because this is something that this is something like, if you're trying to practice something, you're trying to get something. I have a friend who teaches, and I'm going to do some of these classes with her. She's lovely. Her name's Mindy, and she gets our supplements, and she's part of our collective here. You just don't see her, but I know her in real life. And Mindy rather, is she's an amazing ceramics teacher. I've seen all of the stuff that she teaches this. And she teaches people how to use the wheel, and you don't get it the first time necessarily. But with deliberate practice, all of a sudden that clay gets centered. All of a sudden you have the right amount of water and you have the right amount of rhythm, and it just comes up. Those of you who did ballet, and I think Patsy did this, I think we know this, but when you do ballet, there's a thing called a fouette, if you know what that is. And it's a pirouette, which is something that a little girl learns how to do. But a fouette is a pirouette on steroids. And there's a rhythm and a practice that needs to come. And once you get the rhythm and the practice, you can do around and around and around and around. And you just have to learn to spot. You have to learn to get the rhythm of how your leg goes, and around you go. That is what deliberate practice does until you get to the place of mastery. Deliberate practice. But you have to set specific goals. I want to get that fouette down. I want to get this pot thrown. I want to get something accomplished, knowing full well you're not going to get it first time out of the gate. There's work involved. You know, there's the practice of it before you get the flow of it. And that's so cool. I love this. And I would also add, don't forget, add some affirmations to it and some intention to it. I am a potter. I am a ballerina. I am an athlete. I am becoming all of these because I show up as that and do. Yeah, it doesn't have to be in the style of perfection, because we know that perfection isn't here, this side of glory. It has to be differently done, doesn't it? You understand that we know this with our whole hearts. Number 2 is focused and concentrated practice, of course. So we know that deliberate practice 100% demands focus. So we think about the muscle, we think about the quality of a relationship, for example, when with the words that are coming out of our mouths, is it building up or is it tearing down our relationship? When we're aware, when we're focused, when we're on point, when we're in that deliberate mode. So we also have to understand that that focused, concentrated practice is more about the quality of the practice and less about the quantity of the practice. It's not about just getting through it. It's about going through it and being present in it and concentrating and being focused that whole time. That's really important. And this, maybe I'm saying this twice, but it's that important. And you'll feel the difference of the quality of your work, of your intention, of all of it when you're doing it, as opposed to how you'll feel if you don't, right? It's a big difference. Number 3 is immediate feedback. Now, understand this, and I'm very particular about who I ask for feedback from, because I need to have positive and supportive stuff. I need to have feedback that if there is some criticism involved, it has to be practical, and it's not just for the sake of being critical and doggy downer. I don't need somebody to pop my balloon. I need somebody to say something that will help it be better. That said, there's not a lot of people that I'm going to ask. I'm very, 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 very selective about that. Number 1. Number 2, the other thing that is extraordinarily important is you can get feedback from yourself. Now, a lot of times we don't think that we're good at giving ourselves feedback. We're really quick to beat ourselves up, aren't we? And we're really quick to load on the self-loathing and the self-criticism. What we need to do is to pull back and be analytical about this whole thing. What didn't work about this? 80% of this was workable, but 20% of it's falling apart. Why is that? Asking ourselves why and getting to the place of figuring it out. When we understand that everything is figure outable, right? Then we understand that we have the resources within to figure this out. Look at your own feedback. And I say this with two thoughts. One, you are worthy of giving yourself your own feedback, and you are wiser than you think, and you always don't need to crowdsource what it is that you're doing. You simply need to be a little bit more self-reliant and looking at these things from a fully different perspective, not so that you can give yourself a big kick in the can, but so that you can get yourself to this next level. because it's frustrating when you don't move along the way you think you should, right? Well, that's how we get it, feedback. Number 4 is to practice beyond your comfort zone. Now, hear me when I say this. That doesn't mean that you're going to go to this place where you are lifting 50-pound weights when you can't. You know, right now, my comfort zone is beyond using those 15-pound weights. I'd rather use the 12s. The 12s are easier for me, but the 15s require more from me. And at some point, those 15s are going to get easy because I'm going to get stronger. So the place of struggle right now, that's cool. I'm going to have those 12s available and I'm going to pull those back. But that is everything. It is everything when we know this. Because if we are leaving our comfort zone, we are growing. Growth does not happen in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is a lie and it's an untruth. It's a complete facade for the life of ease and comfort, because it's not comfortable staying where you are. You know, we're either growing or we're sliding back. There's no limbo. We just don't stay just in one place. We're either growing or we're not, and we're sliding back. So keep that in mind. And just remember this too. This is, when I always say you're stronger than you think, and there's more inside, and that we can pull from the resource that we have. When I say that, it's because it's there. It's not just in me, it's in you too. This is where we find our grit. So if I say you've got a little bit more inside of you, guess what you do? And I'm not asking you to go out and burn yourself out. I'm not asking you to be ridiculous. I'm just asking you, from the times when you think, that's enough, I'm not going to do this. What about if you say, you know what? I'm going to do 5 more. I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do 10 more minutes. I'm going to do another half mile in my walk. Just a half mile out and a half mile back. It's another mile. What if you did that? That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, because when you do this, you start seeing yourself as for who you are, and the strength and the quality of the person of who you are. Your integrity shows up, your strength shows up, and it takes you all the way. Deliberate practice is what does this, but this is one of the components. Number 5 is consistency and repetition. Consistent effort, lots of repetition. What do you think you're going to get? You are going to get a brand new spanking habit that's going to completely rewire your neural pathways. And those neural pathways, it's so interesting. I saw this video that Dr. Joe Dispenza did, and it was so interesting about neural pathways. And we have set ways in our brains. All of us do. All of us do, without a doubt. But when we start to question some of those beliefs that don't fit our lives anymore, and we start to unplug them, and like tonight, we're talking about crushing limiting beliefs. So this is kind of part of what we are going to be talking about today. And here's the thing that I think is so interesting, is that the neural pathways are kind of glued together. They're just, it's like, I call it the Oregon path, the Oregon Trail. There's ruts in those roads after 100 and something years. There's still ruts in those roads. However, the thing that we need to be looking at is that glue can be unglued, and we can glue new ones together. And it's by repetition that this happens. And it's by us saying, I'm going to be consistent with this. I'm going to show up every day for my time-blocked appointment with myself in the gym. I'm going to show up every day, and I'm going to follow my menu plan. I'm going to show up every day and hydrate. I'm going to show up every day and go to bed at a decent hour. All of these things build on top of one another to become the habits and to become the new foundational principles of who we are and what we're about. Isn't that so cool? We glue them together. Our brains do that. Our brains do that. And when we do this, we allow for all the goodness of this new habit to come in and feed us the dopamine and the serotonin. We feel it in the endorphin hit from exercise. All of that makes us feel good. And it puts us into the state of flow. And flow is just the ultimate allowing of all the goodness to come into our lives and allowing us to become the women that we're meant to be, that we're born to be on purpose and for purpose, fearfully and wonderfully made. This is the kind of vibrant women, kind of wise women we're supposed to be and show up as every single day. You know, it's not a monumental ask. If you've been appointed to be here on this earth, then this is your divine duty to show up. This is your divine duty to become this woman and to deliberately practice this kind of life. And when you do, your purpose is going to shine in front of you, and it's going to be so obvious. And you're not going to have any question about what's next or what you're supposed to do. And stepping into a new challenge, piece of cake, you've got this. You will do this because you've been called to this. Isn't that remarkable? Well, you are remarkable, you wise woman, you. And I'll tell you what, if you're doing the Hot Melt 30 and you realize that something's out of whack, you have all the skills in order to put it back together again and to create exactly the customized plan that you need and to create exactly what it is that you need for the next step up. And I'm going to tell you what, I've got your back. I'm here for you. I'm watching you. I'm going to support you in any way that I possibly can. That's why we do all these different things. And I hope, for heaven's sake, that you understand that you are more than enough. And it's time for you to see that. Okay? So savingdinner.com/bloom. July 22nd, it's a Saturday, all day. We're going to be spending together on all of this. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait. Peace be with you all. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.